Hello, so we are discussing Python Tkinter tutorial. So in this part, I will create a digital clock using Python Tkinter. And this is the code, and we will build this digital clock project from the scratch, and I will explain each and every line. So first of all, let me show you the output. So this is the output that I must get. So this is the digital clock that I have created using Python Tkinter. So in this part I will create a digital clock with the help of Python Tkinter. So now we start creating digital clock. So first of all, let's import the required modules. So import a required module. So I will use Tkinter. So first of all, from Tkinter, let's import everything, and then import time. And now I will create a window application. So create clock is equals to tk, and then clock dot title. I will give a title, let's say digital clock, and I will provide the geometry. So clock dot geometry, let's say 600 cross 300, and then I will show this clock. So clock dot main loop. So fine, now let's save it and run our code. And you can see this, has title digital clock and geometry is 600 by 300. We can change it. So let's resize it, and now I will change it to 700 by 300, and let's run this, and you can see it has been resized. But I want to disable this button, this maximization button I want to disable. For that I will use I will use clock dot resizable, and here I will pass 0, 0, and let's save it and run it. And you can see now I am not able to maximize or minimize this. Fine. And what I am going to do, I am going to give it some color. So clock dot config, and here I will use background is equals to cyan. So when I run this, you can see the background has been changed. And now I will start creating a digital clock. So what I will do, I will create a frame. So header frame, so header equals to frame, and frame I will use on the clock, and background is equals to cyan. And another frame that I will use is for the body, and body is equals to frame and clock, and background is equals to cyan. You can change the colors as per your requirement. And then I will pack it, header dot pack is used to show the elements on the window. So padding y is equals to 20, and then I will use body dot pack. And now I will create a label. So header label I will create. So let's create header label. So header label, what I will do, header label is equals to label, and here I will use this label on the header frame. So I am passing header, you can see, and then I am using text is equals to digital clock, and font is equals to, let's say, font I am going to use, let's say, Courier, and size, let's say 32, and it is of bold nature. And background color, again you can change as per your requirement. I'm going to use cyan, and foreground color I'm going to use red. Okay, and now I will pack this. So header label dot pack, and let's save it, and now run this, and you can see this label on your window, digital clock, and it is placed on the header label, and text is digital clock, font is Courier 32, and background color is cyan, foreground color is red. You can change these colors, so let's try to change. I am going to increase the font size to, let's say, 40, and background color, let's say, blue, and save it and run this. You can see the background color has been changed. Now what I will do, I will show time. I will show time in this format. First of all, or, and then colon, then minute, then colon, then second, and then am, and then pm. So I need to create 6 labels. So 6 labels I will create. One is for this or, and another one is for a colon 1, and then minutes, and then colon 2, and then seconds, and then am pm, because I want to show the time in this format. So for that I need 6 labels. So one label is for hours, and then colon 1, and then minutes, and then colon 2, and then seconds, and then am slash pm. I need 6 labels, so I will create 6 labels now. So first label is for or, so just create a label or. Okay, I will use labels here. Okay, so or is equals to label, and here I will pass, I will use this label on the body frame. So body, and text is initially 00, and font is equals to, let's say the font is Comic Sans MS, and font size is, let's say, 60. Comic Sans MS. Okay, Comic Sans MS, and size is 60, and background is, let's say, cyan, and I will copy this. So now I will create a second label for the colon 1. Everything will be the same, and I will just change the text. You can change the font size, you can change the font style, color as per your requirement. And then I will create a third label for the, let's say, minute. I will create the third label for the minute. So let's say a minute, and then I will create the fourth label for the colon 2, and text I will change to this colon. So it's very simple. I am creating 6 label actually. One is for or, and then is colon 1, minute, colon 2, second, and then for am and pm. Very simple. So just copy, and now again I will create a label for the second. Everything will be the same, and then I will create the label for the am pm, and here I will change the text to am. Now I have created 6 labels, and now I want to place all the labels on the window. So I will use a grid, because I want to show the time in one row only. So I will use the grid. So our.grid, and here I will place the all label in the row 0, column 0, and padding x will be 6. You can change these values. If padding x, you can change the value of padding x. So just copy it, because I have 6 labels. So just I will use this line 6 times, and after or I will place colon 1 on the row 0, column 1, row 0. I am using row 0 because I want to show the time in only one row, and then I will use minute, and then I will use colon 2, and then I will use second, and then I will use AM PM. Pretty simple, very simple. I want to show all the labels on one row, so row 0 column 0, row 0 column 1, and so on. Okay, so let's run this. There is one problem. Okay, the problem is I have not changed these values. So row 0 column 2, row 0 column 3, column 4, and column 5. Save it, and now run this. You can see the first is OR label, and then colon 1, then you can see the minute label, and then colon 2, then the second, okay, and then the AM PM. And you can increase the font size of these labels. I have provided 60 font size for each of the label. You can change the font size, and you can also change the padding X. Actually, padding X is the space between these elements. So now I have set all the labels on my window, and now what I will do, I will create a function to update this time. So function, let's say the function name is show time. So I will create this function. So here I will create a function. So let's use this function. So function name is show time, and function name is show time. And now I will use this function to write a code to show the time. So in this function, first of all we will fetch the time. So I am creating a variable now, and date time dot now, and then I will fetch the OR. So now dot OR, and then I will fetch the minutes. So now dot minute, and then now dot second. Now I will check if OR is greater than equal to, let's say, 12, and then 12. Then I will check if OR is greater than 12. I will subtract minus 12, and AM PM dot config, I will set the text to PM. So it's very simple. If OR is greater than equal to 12, then the AM PM label text will be PM, and else if OR is equals to 0, I will set the OR equals to 12, and AM PM dot config, and I will set the text is equals to AM. So it's very simple. If OR is greater than equal to 12, then I will set the text to PM, and if the else if the OR is equals to 0, I will set the text to the AM. And if OR is greater than 12, for example 15, then I will subtract 12 from the OR. For example, let's say 15 13, then I will subtract the 12. So 15 13 means 313. And now what I will do, I will affix the 0 if the value of the OR is less than 10. If the value of a minute is less than 10, I will prefix the 0, and if the value of second is less than 10, I will prefix the 0. For that I will use, so or equals to 0 plus string h if or is less than 10, else string h. So very simple. If the value of or is less than 10, for example let's say 8, then 08, it should be displayed like 08, and otherwise it should be, and suppose if the value of or is 11, then it will be shown as 11 only. So same thing I will do for the minute and for the second. So if minute is less than 10, and similarly for seconds I will use this statement. Fine. And now what I will do, I will set the, remember my label name for or is or, so or dot config, and I will set text equals to h. Similarly for minute dot config, I will set the text equals to m, and similarly for second I will set the text equals to s. And let's save all this and run the code. Okay, so name date time is not defined, so I will import date time, save it, and now run this, and you can see the time. So you can see or, and then colon, then minute, then colon, then second, and then am or pm, but the time is not being updated. So what should I do? Here in the last I will use or dot after 200 microsecond I will recall this function. So let's run this, and you can see the time is being updated now. So you can see perfectly working digital clock, and just wait for some few seconds. I want to show the logic of this prefix concept, and just wait, and boom, you can see when the seconds are less than 10, you can see there is a 0 prefixed, because I am using this code. If second is less than 10, I will prefix the 0 to whatever the value of s is, and s value I am getting from this date time. I am extracting the second value in the s, I am extracting the minute value in the m, and hour value in the h, and this code I have already explained. Very simple code. And after getting the value of h, m, and s, I am setting the labels. So labels are hour, minute, and second, and I am setting whatever the value of h to the label. So you can see the time is being updated. So it's a very good project to learn the Python Tkinter. So that's all. Thank you for watching.